They say there was once a land, vast and ancient, stretching across the Indian Ocean like a bridge between worlds. From the southern tip of India, across the seas, even towards the shores of Australia, legends tell of Kumari Kandam. Some call it the Tamil Atlantis, others believe it was the birthplace of civilization itself. But here's the thing, while poets in India spoke of their drowned homeland, Aboriginal elders in Australia passed down stories of coastlines swallowed by the sea. Entire hunting grounds, gone beneath the waves. So, is Kumari Kandam just another myth, a fantasy dreamed up by storytellers? Or could it be a cultural memory of real lands lost, linking India and Australia in ways we are only beginning to understand? The story begins in southern India, in Tamil Nadu. For thousands of years, Tamil poets spoke of the Sangams, grand literary academies where wisdom was shared, poetry composed, and knowledge passed on. According to tradition, two of these great Sangams didn't survive. They were said to have taken place on lands now beneath the ocean, lands that belonged to Kumari Kandam. Fast forward to the 19th century. European scientists were puzzled. Why were lemurs found in both India and Madagascar, but nowhere in between? To explain it, zoologist Philip Sclater proposed a massive sunken continent, Lemuria, that once connected them. Later, Tamil revivalists took this European idea and fused it with their own ancient legends. Lemuria became Kumari Kandam, a Tamil homeland lost to the sea. Now here's where Australians come in. On the other side of the Indian Ocean, Aboriginal elders told of vast plains once stretching out from the coast. Stories of ancestors walking across dry land to islands that today are cut off by sea. Science backs them up. After the last ice age, rising seas swallowed almost 2 million square kilometers of land across the Indo-Pacific. So whether it's Tamil poets recalling drowned Sangams, or Aboriginal elders remembering flooded hunting grounds, both are echoes of the same truth: the ocean has always reshaped our world. And maybe Kumari Kandam is more than just myth. Maybe it's memory. In Tamil tradition, Kumari Kandam wasn't just land, it was a golden age. A paradise where knowledge flourished, kings ruled justly, and society thrived without corruption. Ancient texts like the Silappatikaram spoke of fertile plains swallowed by the sea. Commentaries on Sangam poetry described a kingdom stretching far into what is now the Indian Ocean. For Tamil revivalists in the 19th and 20th centuries, Kumari Kandam became a symbol. It was more than nostalgia, it was pride. At a time when colonial powers belittled Indian culture, this legend said, our civilization was ancient, powerful, and creative long before Rome or Egypt. For some, it wasn't just pride, it was identity. Descriptions of Kumari Kandam painted it as immense, so large it made Rome and Egypt seem like beginners. Its scholars wrote literature, practiced astronomy, and cultivated advanced farming. Some even compared its migration stories to a Tamil Noah's Ark, where survivors sailed away to repopulate the world after their homeland sank. Now, let's jump across the ocean. In Australia, Aboriginal Dreamtime stories tell of a similar trauma. Elders in Arnhem Land recount how their people once walked across wide plains, only to see the sea creep in. In Tasmania, traditions remember a land bridge to the mainland, later swallowed by tides. In Queensland, elders described campsites and hunting grounds drowned beneath the waves. Both traditions, Tamil and Aboriginal, carry the same scars, and memories of land lost, communities displaced, and worlds reshaped. It's haunting, and yet deeply human. And here's the point, whether or not Kumari Kandam existed as a vast continent, the myth itself reflects something real, the lived experience of civilizations confronting the rising ocean. In 2004, when a massive tsunami struck India, something extraordinary happened near Mahabalipuram. As the waters retreated, fishermen and locals reported seeing long-lost temples emerge from the ocean. Divers later confirmed it, carved lions, massive stone walls, and platforms lying beneath the waves. These matched local legends of the 7 pagodas, where Sikhs had supposedly been swallowed by the sea. Further south, near the ancient port of Pumpuhar, marine archaeologists discovered stone structures buried underwater. Some appeared to be man-made platforms, others, walls arranged in geometric patterns. Carbon dating suggested they could be around 9,000 years old, dating back to the time when the last ice age ended, and sea levels rose dramatically. For Tamil culture, this was electrifying. It didn't prove Kumari Kandam existed as a continent, but it showed that powerful coastal cities did exist, and were indeed claimed by the ocean. Now let's glance across the ocean again. Off the coast of Queensland, scientists studying the Great Barrier Reef discovered something remarkable: ancient river channels beneath the seabed. These were once valleys, carved by flowing water, where people lived. Here's the kicker: Aboriginal oral traditions describe these floods in astonishing detail. In some stories, elders recall specific mountains and rivers that no longer exist above water. These aren't vague myths, they're precise memories of geography now hidden beneath the sea. Geologists confirm it: sea levels rose by more than 120 meters after the Ice Age. Plains became bays. Rivers turned into estuaries. Islands cut off from the mainland. Aboriginal people, some of the world's oldest continuous cultures, carried those memories for over 10,000 years. So when we line these accounts side by side, Tamil legends of drowned kingdoms, Aboriginal stories of submerged hunting grounds, and archaeological evidence of sunken ruins, the pattern becomes undeniable. The ocean did take lands. Civilizations did adapt. And cultures preserved those memories in myth, song, and poetry. It makes Kumari Kandam less of a fantasy, and more of a coded truth. Geologists are clear: there was never a massive continent bridging India and Australia. Alfred Wegener's theory of continental drift explained that India broke away from Africa and slammed into Eurasia tens of millions of years ago. By the time humans appeared, there was no Kumari Kandam stretching across the ocean. But here's where it gets fascinating. While giant continents don't just sink overnight, fragments of land do. In 2013, researchers working near Mauritius found zircon crystals buried under volcanic rock. These crystals were billions of years old, far older than the island itself. The discovery pointed to a microcontinent hidden beneath the waves, now nicknamed Mauritius. Science shows us the Earth is messy. Land rises, sinks, breaks apart.
In the dream time,
islands
the
appear,
great
vanish,
spirits
and
roamed the
re-emerge.
land,
And for
shaping
people
the
living along
mountains and
coastlines,
rivers.
these changes would have felt like the end of the world. In Australia, geologists have mapped the Sahul Shelf, a vast expanse that once connected Australia to Papua New Guinea and Tasmania. During the Ice Age, humans walked across it freely. Then, as the ice melted, seas rose, drowning enormous areas of land. What was once a single landmass became separate nations of islands and continents. And here's where Aboriginal knowledge astounds scientists. Oral traditions in Arnhem Land, the Whitsundays, and Tasmania describe this very process: land bridges disappearing, coasts reshaped, campsites swallowed. These aren't just stories, they're records of geological events. Some scientists argue they may be the oldest accurate oral histories in the world. So while Kumari Kandam as a supercontinent doesn't fit geology, the essence of the story does. People saw their world shrink. They saw their coastlines vanish. And they immortalized it in myth. To truly understand the weight of these stories, let's listen to voices from Australia. In Arnhem Land, elders passed down stories of great plains now beneath the sea. They describe exactly where the shoreline once stood, and how their ancestors were forced to move inland as waters rose. In Tasmania, traditions recall a land bridge connecting them to the mainland. Archaeological evidence confirms this: a people once crossed freely before rising seas cut Tasmania off about 12,000 years ago. In Queensland, Dreamtime narratives speak of ancestors forced to adapt when fertile lands vanished. These stories aren't just myths, they're history told in song. For Aboriginal people, storytelling is a living archive. Unlike written records, oral traditions adapt but endure. The fact that some of these stories match scientific data about post-Ice Age flooding has left researchers astonished. And this is where the connection with Kumari Kandam becomes powerful. Tamil poets and Aboriginal elders, separated by oceans, both remembered the trauma of losing land to the sea. Both built myths around survival. Both kept those stories alive for thousands of years. It shows us something profound: that the human spirit doesn't just grieve what's lost, it carries it forward, ensuring the memory survives long after the land itself has gone. In Tamil Nadu, Kumari Kandam evolved into more than legend. It became a political and cultural symbol. During the 20th century, leaders invoked it as proof of Tamil greatness, an ancient homeland that validated their identity. School textbooks in Tamil Nadu even referenced it, blurring the line between history and mythology. For Aboriginal Australians, the power of their stories lies not in politics but in continuity. Their traditions are living proof that oral culture can preserve knowledge for tens of thousands of years. In fact, they may hold the oldest accurate cultural memories on Earth. When you place these side by side, Kumari Kandam and Aboriginal traditions aren't about whether a continent literally existed. They are about resilience, identity, and the refusal to let memory die. And perhaps that's the real power of Kumari Kandam, not as a landmass on a map, but as a shared reminder of how humans survive catastrophe and carry forward the lessons of the past. So, did Kumari Kandam exist as a vast continent bridging India and Australia? Geology says no. The Earth doesn't lose continents overnight. But did people watch as their homelands were swallowed by the sea? Absolutely. Tamil poets wrote of drowned kingdoms. Aboriginal elders preserved memories of coastlines disappearing. Archaeology shows ruins beneath Indian waters. Geology confirms entire land bridges around Australia now lie underwater. The truth is, Kumari Kandam isn't about lost continents, it's about memory. It's about how cultures hold on to the trauma of rising seas and translate it into myth, poetry, and song. And in that sense, Kumari Kandam is real. Not in stone maps or continents, but in the human ability to remember, to carry stories across generations, and to survive. If this journey through myth and memory struck a chord with you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button, share this video with a mate who loves a good mystery, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you see Kumari Kandam as myth, memory, or maybe a bit of both? And of course, make sure you subscribe. That way, you'll join a growing community that values curiosity, history, and the untold stories that still echo through time.